Chi comincia?
Okay, who'd like to start? No one? All right. Oh, there is a question after all. Mr. Ancelotti, so what's happened in these last 4 days? And can we say that this evening you gave everything, your heart, you suffered somewhat, you're pretty clear-minded, which is what you asked for yesterday, apart from in a couple of moments of the game, and perhaps towards the end of the game, but that's quite human anyway, isn't it? Well, what's happened? The team's aware of the issues that we've been encountering and over the last few weeks or so, and I think we're beginning to improve, to leave those problems behind. We're showing a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, a lot of character and personality, a whole range of factors. And I think, as I already have said, I think that I've seen that the team's definitely still alive. Not just the result, but the team's alive. We can still do better, of course, in the Serie A in particular. Yes, a couple of quick things. Can you tell us a little bit about Alan's performance today? I think that I thought that he was probably the best player on the pitch for Napoli, and do you think that now this could pave the way for a solution to be found on a Friday when you get back to Napoli, when you speak to the president? Well, yes, I have spoken to the president, as it happens. He's really pleased. He's thanked the players for their efforts. I think Alan did what he's done in the past. He played extremely well, just as he did against AC Milan. I think he was probably the best player on the pitch then, and he was again tonight. And I think he's back. He's back to his best level, absolutely. I think he's showing that he's a player who's indispensable for us. So do you think that the president will bear this in mind then on Friday? Do you think this will help the situation? Well, we'll have to see over the next couple of days, won't we? The president wants to speak with all of the group, all of the players. And so I believe that this is a positive sign, absolutely, on everyone's behalf. And Mr. Ancelotti, a couple of things. First of all, when exactly did you decide to play Di Lorenzo in that position? And then secondly, do you think that, and we've said this often, of course, after good performances in the Champions League, do you think that this could represent for your group the turning point? From a mental point for the group, can it be the turning point and help you to improve matters in Serie A? Well, I think I said this yesterday. It's true to say that we've been playing pretty well in the domestic league. We've lost points in the league we perhaps shouldn't have lost. But this also, I have no doubt whatsoever, this team will get back to playing at its best level. And I think that's what we began to do today. And I think each and every game, it helps us to reach this level once again. There were lots of expectations around this game, not just this game, but the game in Milan at the weekend as well. Perhaps some people thought that, we'd concede quite a good few goals, but that hasn't happened either. And even though we haven't been playing at our very best, we've always been very solid. And what about Di Lorenzo? But the fact that Mario Rui was able to play, otherwise we would have had someone else on left. Mario Rui did play, and he was back, coming back after quite a while as well, of course. He played a great game, and then I decided yesterday, and then when we saw that Mario Rui was okay, then we could do something different with Lorenzo. I just wanted to ask whether, can Anfield represent the turning point for you this season? Well, I don't know. I mean, I knew that we were going to play well. I was convinced up against a team like Liverpool. Awesome team, fantastic team. And, you're going to suffer against a team like that. But we know that we can create them problems as well, and perhaps because of the way that we play. So I was certain that we'd play well. But just because you play a great game against a team like Liverpool doesn't mean that you get a good result. I think today, perhaps the game wasn't particularly aesthetically pleasing, as it were, but we were certainly clear-minded, we were solid, and our aim wasn't to put in a fantastic performance. Our objective was to get through to the next round, and we still need another point to do that, of course. Well, Liverpool had won all of its games thus far in Liverpool, and yet how do you explain that Napoli is capable of putting in great performances, wonderful in defence this evening, for example, and then on other occasions it's almost as if it has a blackout during a game? I mean, even before the so-called mutiny affair, as it were. Well, listen, if I knew why that happened, I mean, it's difficult to put your finger on it, I think. It's difficult to find an explanation. I think probably it's something which is in the players' minds, a mental thing. It's not really tactical, it's not physical. But let's just say that and this goes for everyone, by the way, we ought not to try to spend too much time looking for what's the most effective system, least effective system. Ultimately, it's down to the players and how they give value to the system, regardless of what it is, 4-3-3, 4-3-2-1. Today, we played 5-3-1. Well, no, it's not true. We didn't do that. And we didn't play with 5 defenders. Di Lorenzo, I think, played a game where he did the same kind of work that Callejon's been doing for quite a lot of games and so far this season, both in defence and in the midfield. So I think that you need a lot of courage, show a lot of character, personality, show a great mentality. I think this is a kind of a team that we have that, we lose ourselves a little bit very quickly, but we find ourselves quickly as well, and that's a good thing. Well, looking at the last 3 games that you've played, I mean, you look like a different team. You look like a different team compared to the team that played the previous 2 games against Genoa and Milan. Can you just say that boils down to mentality? Because today was the real Napoli, wasn't it? It was a real Napoli. Well, I think that mentality, motivation, and then perhaps we didn't have quite the same pressure. We didn't feel the same pressure, perhaps. I certainly didn't want the players to feel under pressure this time around. So I think it was important to bear in mind that you're really lucky to be playing here at Anfield. It's a great fortune for everyone to be able to play here. It's a special place to play. I remember in Genk, you said that you liked your team when they're under siege and they close themselves in defence, and I think that's what you did today. Do you think you can improve even? But what about set pieces? Set pieces was your downfall again. Well, we knew, and we were well structured, and we had a great shape today. We had tall centre players in the middle of the pitch, but it was a deep cross, and perhaps we could have avoided that, and perhaps we should have pushed up a little bit further and had our taller players closer towards their players. But, let's be honest, it's small detail, and ultimately Liverpool didn't deserve to lose this evening. And we also know Mr. Klopp's on his way, so we're on our way to now.